Guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will look at check if array is sorted and rotated, which is from Leetcode number 1752. Let's now read the problem statement. In this problem, given an array nums, return true if the array was originally sorted in non-decreasing order, then rotated some number of positions including 0. Otherwise you return false. There may be duplicates in the original array, and you can read this note. It says that whenever you go out of bound from the last index, then you always wrap around to index number 0. Okay, so that is the meaning of this mod of n. So in this particular case, if the array indices were, let's say, from 0 to 4, and if you add +2 index to this 3, then you will go one hop to 4, and then the next hop will be to 0. If you had done +3 index, then you will be reaching to index number 1. So you can simply take this value 3 and add whatever number of times you want to move to the right and take the mod of the size. So in this case, the mod of size will be 5 because you have 5 number of items in this array. So if you happen to take this, then you will be getting 1 as the result. That means if you start from 3 and move 3 times to the right with the cyclic nature of this array, then you will be reaching back to index number 1. That is the meaning of this line. Now if you look at the first example, it is asking whether it is sorted and rotated array. So in this particular case, the answer will be true, because if the original array was, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you rotate it 3 times to the right hand side, then in one time rotation the 5 will come to the end and then it will be lost here. In the next time rotation, the 4 will come to the end and it will be lost here. In the next time rotation, the 3 will come to the end and this will be lost here. So what is the array that you are getting? You are getting 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And what is the array here? 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So that is why we need to return true. That means this is a rotated form of the initial sorted array. Okay. Now if you look at the second example, in this particular case, it is not a form of the rotated sorted array, because if you take the sorted array, then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. If you keep rotating it, the one time you rotate, the 4 will come to the left. Second time you rotate, 3 will come to the left. Okay. The third time you rotate, 2 is coming to the left. The fourth time you rotate, 1 will come to the left. So you started from 1, 2, 3, 4 and you again reached back to 1, 3, 2, 4, but then you never got this 2, 1, 3, 4, right? You never reached to this state. And if you do not reach to this state, that means we will be returning false. That means it is not a sorted and rotated array. Now if you follow this simulation approach, and if the size of the array is n, and every time you are removing the last item, which can be done in order of one time, and if you are taking a list, then you can also insert in the beginning in order of one time as well. So if I assume that taking out from the last and inserting in the beginning in a list is order of 1, then after each of the rotation, you can just compare this given entire array with the sorted and rotated array that you need to check with. Okay. So the first step would be, given an array, you sort it to take a input array. Now you need to rotate it n number of times. So whenever you get this array, you sort it to get the sorted array. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be done in n log n time. And after you are done with this, you keep rotating it. The first time you rotate, you will get the state 4, 1, 2, 3. And then as soon as you get this state, the state change will happen in order of 1, because I am assuming removing from the end is order of 1 and appending at the end is also order of 1, right? Now you check this state with the given input here. If they match, then it is a sorted and rotated array. If they do not match, then again rotate it one more time. And now the new state will be 3, 4, 1, 2. Again you check this state 3, 4, 1, 2 with the input. If it does not match, you rotate it again and get 2, 3, 4, 1. Again, if it does not match, then you rotate it again and you will get 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you reach to the same state as you originally did, and you will always get it in n number of rotations, you will again reach back to the sorted state, right? And if you could not find any of the state matches, then you know that it is not a sorted and rotated array. So every match of the array is taking order of n. And how many such rotations are possible? N number of such rotations are possible. So that is why the time complexity will be n log n for sorting plus the n square for it. And so the total time complexity will be order of n square. Now given this nums length to be 100, this technique is going to work perfectly fine within 1 second, because n square complexity will be 10 to the power of 4. 10 to the power 4 number of operation which will comfortably pass within 1 second. But let's look at an optimal solution by looking at certain strategy. Now in this particular example, let's say that the n value equals to 5 and we are given a sorted array. Now whenever you rotate it, if you rotate it the first time, you will find that the last item reaches here. If you rotate it the second time, then the second last item of the original array, the last two items will come to the beginning. If you rotate it 3 times, then the last 3 items will come right in the beginning. And if you rotate 4 times, the last 4 items comes in the beginning. And likewise, if you rotate n number of times, then we reach to the same initial state. So rotating an array n number of times, 2n number of times, or kn number of times will always loop back to the original sorted state. Okay, so this will define how many states are possible. The number of items will be defining the number of states. Now in the initial sorted state, when the entire array is sorted, you will find that the elements are non-decreasing. Okay, so whenever your number of rotation mod of the array size is equals to 0, then this means all the items are already sorted, right? But if you are at any intermediate step right in between, like when the r mod n value is not equals to 0, then it will range from 1 to n minus 1, right? Then in any of these intermediate steps, you will find something like this, where the array is not perfectly sorted, but you can divide the array into 2 regions. If it is a rotated sorted array, then you will be defining it in 2 regions, where in the first region, the items will be non-decreasing. In the second region as well, the items will be non-decreasing, but all the items in the second region will be actually less than the smallest item in the region number 1. If you consider this region number 1, let's look at this state. If you consider the region number 1, then 3, 4, 5 is forming region number 1. This region number 1, they are increasing, right? And 1, 2 forms region number 2. Now if you look at all the items in this region number 2, they are less than equals to even the smallest item in region number 1, and that will always be true if it is a rotated sorted array. Okay, so the largest in region 2 will always be less than equals to the smallest in 1, and both the curves are non-decreasing. Non-decreasing means items can also be equal. So if you look at another array input where the size of the array is 6, and if I rotate it 3 times, then the last 3 items will come in the beginning, and the rest of the items will be shifted by those many positions, right? So this is how the array will look. And if you imagine it in the form of a graph by defining 2 regions, then you will find that the region number 1 is non-decreasing, and then the region number 2 is also non-decreasing, but you will always find that the largest item in this region number 2 will be always less than equals to the smallest item in region 1. And the smallest item in region 1 will always be the array at index number 0. If you look at array at index 0, that will always be the smallest in region 1. Okay, we already know that. So how do we solve this problem? How do we check if it is actually a rotated sorted array? So what we do is, in step number 1, we define if we have this valid region 1, and in order to find it out, we can just compare all the adjacent items, and if the adjacent items are actually non-decreasing, that means if array at I is greater than equals to array at I minus 1, then it is a non-decreasing curve. As soon as this condition is false, and this will happen whenever a transition happens from region 1 to region 2, then it will happen, right? Where the array at I will not be greater than equals to array at I minus 1. So there we know that either the array has ended, or otherwise we have moved to region number 2. So if you move to region 2, again we do the same check, that all the adjacent items must be in the non-decreasing order, right? That is one check. And the second thing it should be that given any element, it should always be less than the smallest element in region 1, because if you have certain kind of curve like this, then this is invalid. It is not a sorted rotated array. In a sorted rotated array, region 2's every item will be less than the smallest of region 1 as well. Okay, so that is why we need to do 2 checks here. Now let's see a dry run in order to solve according to our idea. So in this case, what I'll do is I will be using an I pointer, and I will try to find out the span of region 1 and try to see if it is non-decreasing, right? So always check this array at I with I minus 1, that it should be greater than equals to the array at I minus 1, and that is true, increment. 4 is greater than equals to 4, increment. 5 is greater than equals to 4, increment. Okay, now we have reached to this index 4 where 1 is not greater than equals to 5. So this is where I will stop. So if I stop here, then either I have reached to the end of the array, or otherwise I have actually done a transition to region number 2, because we know that the region number 2 might not be present at all if the number of rotations are actually in the multiple of the size of the array. Then region 2 will not be present and I will be returning true in that case. But in this case region 2 is present, right? So what I have to do is, at this point of time, maybe none of the elements are present on the right side. None of these elements index 5 and 6 are present, right? So what I have to do is, I have to check this index number 4 with index number 0. That means what if this value was 10? If this value was 10, then immediately I will be returning that it is not a rotated sorted array, because all the elements in the second curve must be less than equals to all the elements in curve number 1. That is the smallest in curve number 1. So that is what I will be checking first. In this case 1 is less than equals to 3, so that is completely fine. Okay. Now if that is true, maybe these elements are not present, so I will immediately be returning true as a result. But if these elements are present, then I will be processing those elements and I will be making I++. Now I have to do two checks. The first check will be the curve should be non-decreasing, even the second curve should be non-decreasing, and all the items in this curve must be less than equals to the smallest in curve number 1. So this is belonging to curve number 1, right? So array at this point, array at I should be greater than equals to array at I minus 1, that is true, and array at I must be actually less than equals to array at 0. Okay, so array at I must be less than equals to array at 0, and that is also fine. So we are fine. We will move to this index number 6. 2 is greater than equals to 1, fine. 2 is less than equals to 3, it is also fine. And when we reach to the end of the array, then we will be returning true as a result. If at any place, if the conditions are not sufficed, we will be returning false. So this is the single parse process in order to solve this problem. And since we did single parse, the time complexity is order of n and the space complexity will be order of 1. Let's now look at the code. If you are someone who is looking to prepare for top product based company within a limited time of just 3 months, then we have brought for you both the DSA and the system design live interview training program. The most important feature of this program is you get a filtered and condensed structured curriculum, in-depth discussion of all the topics, and my guarantee of your understanding, one-on-one guidance with me, and live weekend classes. To know more about the training, you can WhatsApp us on this given number. In this particular problem, we are given the nums array. So I'll find the size of the array. If we just have a single item in our array, then we will be returning true. Otherwise, we will be solving it in two-step process. The first step is to find the first non-decreasing curve. So simply I will be starting with index 1 and I will always be checking that if I am within the bounds and if the adjacent element are in non-decreasing order, then I will continue to go to the right hand side. Otherwise, if I reach to the end of array or if the condition is not following, then I will break. After this, I will be checking if I have reached to the end of the array. Then I will be simply returning true because I just have a single region. I don't have two regions. I just my entire array is non-decreasing, right? So in that case, our number of rotations mod of the array size must have been equals to 0, right? In the second case, I will check if the nums at position is greater than nums at 0. So that means if you are looking at some item in the second curve here, and if this item happens to be greater than the smallest in region number 1, which should not happen, and if this happens, then we return false. The third case is if everything is fine and we have reached to the last item where we do not have any more item to the right hand side, like here, if we do not have any of these items but we just stopped here and every condition was fine, then we will simply return true. Otherwise, if the second region is having more than one items, then I will be processing the second region as well. So I'll be doing I++ and then I will be checking all the adjacent items here, that all the adjacent items should be non-decreasing, and also every item should be less than equals to the smallest item in region 1. Okay, and we should not go out of bound. If any of this condition is not true and we have broken, then we will check. If I am out of bound, that means region 2 is valid. Otherwise, region 2 is invalid and return false. Okay, So this is the entire approach, and I hope you were able to understand it. If you still have any doubt, then feel free to comment below and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of these programming videos. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.